For years, we've heard, the progressive left in America condemn the politicizing of what they call human rights issues. Now, it's been a brilliant strategy. They'll take explicitly political issues, but to shut down any diverse opinion and any debate, they say, well, those are off limits because those are human rights issues. Sexual harassment isn't a political issue, it's a human issue. Black Lives Matter isn't a political issue, it's a human rights issue. Gun violence isn't a political issue, it's a human rights crisis. Wearing masks isn't a political issue, it's a human issue. Transgenderism isn't a political issue, it's a human rights issue. Immigration isn't a political issue, it's a human rights issue. Now, I will admit that I've always looked just a tad bit skeptically upon any movement's commitment to human rights when they speak the language of human rights, while simultaneously maintaining a steadfast devotion to preserving the legality of murdering the littlest humans whom they deem to be unplanned and inconvenient. When you believe that putting this in that and placing it there is morally permissible, call me crazy, but I think you're just a few ticks away from really zeroing in on a robust understanding of human rights. But what's even more puzzling on top of that is why there has been such silence from progressive voices about the unfolding human rights catastrophe in Afghanistan. Little girls having to bid farewell to their teachers and their classmates because a group of backward cavemen won't let them go to school anymore. If this was some nutty, obscure preacher from the deep south with a whole 10 people in his congregation, 9 of whom are his own family members, if a dude like that was touting such a patriarchal approach to society, you know exactly what would happen. CNN would be holding a town hall about it. Reporters would be chasing Republicans all around D.C. to demand condemnations from everyone. Nancy Pelosi would be burning bras with Jane Fonda. Michelle Obama would be hashtagging. And we'd be reading a billion op-eds about how women's rights is not a political issue, it's a human rights issue. Yet, since it's not happening in Alabama, but is happening in Afghanistan as the direct result of a Democrat president's disastrous preparation and execution, here's a live shot of the left responding to those abuses. Even the left-leaning Atlantic wondered why the left has stopped caring about human rights.
Wow, that's a great question.
It is a fair and important question. Because after all, not that long ago, the Democrats featured their A-team at a congressional hearing, lamenting the loss of human rights at the border that now seems just a tad bit ironic.
There were American flags hanging all over these facilities, that children were being separated from their parents in front of an American flag. That children were being separated from their parents in front of an American flag.
But that pales in comparison to the pain felt by families that have been robbed of their liberty, their legal rights, and their dignity, and some even the lives of their babies. And some even the lives of their babies.
The truth is that human rights are not a political issue, and they shouldn't be treated that way. I just hope that someday the American left will agree.